and welcome to the 2026 Courage to Come Back Awards presented by Wheaton Precious Metals. Coast Mental Health respectfully acknowledges that we provide services on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Katzie, Kwantlen, Coquitlam, Musqueam, Squamish, Semiahmoo, Tsawwassen, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. And now, please welcome from the Squamish First Nation, Elder Deborah Baker.
On hot squalls. Good evening, everyone. What a beautiful evening it is. The courage to come back. So grateful that you're all here tonight. 1,500 of you. Let's give everyone a round of applause. You absolutely look amazing. But what's more important is what you're doing, your action. Reconciliation in the mental health and addictions field. So I hope you enjoy tonight. Make it as memorable as possible. Congratulate the recipients who win the awards. Welcome to the shared territory of the Coast Salish peoples, as was mentioned. Before I came up on stage, it really warms my heart to see each and every one of you here tonight for the work you do. Also a big shout out to all the sponsors and to the legacy holders that have been here from probably the beginning. I've always heard about the Courage to Come Back Awards, and I always wondered, how can I make a difference? How can I help? How can I be part of that? I'm a volunteer board member with All Nations Outreach Society. We do work in the downtown east side. James Harry Sr. is our founder. Jade Dolan is our operations manager. To be honest, it takes a lot of heart, compassion, understanding, willingness, honesty to do the work that those of you do in the front lines and those of you that support the ones who do the work. So on that note, I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know that as an Indigenous woman who's been almost 24 years in recovery, we'll be celebrating my sobriety in July, and one day at a time, one day at a time. And I'm so grateful for the support, whether it's family, friends, community, organizations like yourselves, and those who you support. It makes a difference, and these recipients are making a difference in the work that they do, not only for themselves, for their families, and for the community, but for the greater good of all. So on that note, I'd like to share a song with each and every one of you, and I know some of you are eating your salads, so I'm gonna ask you to take a minute to stand up if you can. I'd love for you to join us. I'd like to call Care McDonald, CEO, Coast Mental Health, to join me on the stage. This is my first time meeting him, and I'm so excited. I'm a big fan. I used to work with Judith. I don't know if there's probably a lot of Judiths in the organization, but thank you, Kira. Kira. I said that wrong, sorry. I know a friend named Kira. Kira? Kier. There we go. Everybody say Kier. Kier McDonald. Awesome. So I'm going to ask him to drum.
Look out.
And then we're going to work together, Chen Chen Stwe, in our language, Squamish Snatchum, Chen Chen Stwe, working together. Oh, Siam. So what I need you to do to help us here up on the stage, and if you know this song, please come and join us. The more the merrier. And if you don't know the song, pretend you know the song. Just come and join us. No, just kidding. We're going to share the journey song because each and every one of us, no matter what walk of life we come from, no matter what background, we're all on a journey. And sometimes that journey is a little bit smooth and sometimes it's not so smooth. But at the end of the day, we are not alone. We're all doing this together. And Chen Kwamantomi, I hold up my hands to each and every one of you. So now I'm going to give him a drum lesson. 1 second. So as I clap, you drum.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Sure.
So you're all going to do the same. Let's clap together while he drums. Kara drums. That's awesome. Oh, he sounds good. He's coming with me on my next event. Hi-yo, ho, hey-ya, ho, ho-hey-ya, ho, ho-hey-ya, ho-hey-ya, hey-ya, ho, hey-ya, ho, ho-hey-ya, ho, ho-hey-ya, hi-yo, ho, hey-ya, ho, ho-hey-ya, ho, ho-hey-ya, ho-hey-ya, hey-ya, ho, hey-ya, ho, ho-hey-ya, ho, ho-hey-ya, hi-yo. Now you can hold up the drum. This is the last verse. Let's go out with a bang. Let's let FIFA know we're here. Hi-yo, ho, hey-ya, ho, ho-hey-ya, ho, ho-hey-ya, ho-hey-ya, hey-ya, ho, hey-ya, ho, ho-hey-ya, ho, ho-hey-ya, hi-yo, woo! Good job, isn't that awesome? You guys are awesome. Give yourselves an applause. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. And for the last few words, I just want to say, stay safe, stay awesome, keep doing what you're doing. You make a difference. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this super energy that's here. Thank you. And congratulations to all the award recipients. Osia.
Wow, please join me in thanking Deborah Baker for that incredible opening. I don't think I need to worry about changing my day job anytime soon with that drumming performance. My name is Keir McDonald, and I have the privilege of serving as CEO of Coast Mental Health. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge that we are gathered tonight on the shared, unceded ancestral territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. We are grateful to be here on these lands. Welcome to the 28th Courage to Comeback Awards presented by Wheaton Precious Metals. Tonight is one of my favourite nights of the year. We have come together to celebrate 4 extraordinary individuals whose stories remind us what courage, resilience, and hope truly look like. Each of our recipients has faced challenges that could have defined their lives. Instead, they chose to keep moving forward. Their journeys remind us that setbacks do not determine our future, that recovery is possible, and that hope can endure even in life's most difficult moments. Their stories inspire us, they humble us, and they remind us why this work matters so deeply. At Coast Mental Health, we have the privilege of walking alongside thousands of people every year as they navigate their own recovery journeys. We know that recovery looks different for every person. It is rarely straightforward and almost never easy. But we also know that with the right housing, support, care, and community, people can and do rebuild their lives. This has been a significant year for Coast. We have expanded services in Vancouver, Maple Ridge, and Surrey, allowing us to support more people. We have also begun work on the most ambitious project in our history. Earlier this month, we submitted plans to redevelop our long-time home in Mount Pleasant through what we are calling the East 11th Project. At its heart, East 11th is about creating a place where people can find stability, support, and a sense of belonging. It will bring together truly affordable housing, mental health services, and community spaces designed to help people build healthier and more connected lives. In many ways, it reflects the same belief that sits at the heart of tonight's celebration, that when people are given the opportunity, support, and hope they need, extraordinary things can happen. Of course, none of this happens without the support of people like you. The funds raised tonight will help Coast continue providing housing, mental health services, recovery supports, and opportunities for connection to thousands of people across our communities. Your generosity changes lives, and we are deeply grateful for it. But tonight, more than anything, is about what becomes possible when people are given hope, support, and the opportunity to move forward. It's about 4 remarkable individuals who refuse to let their circumstances have the final say. People whose stories will inspire us, challenge us, and stay with us long after we leave this room. Thank you for being here to celebrate them with us. And now, it's my pleasure to introduce our host for this evening. He is a seasoned and award-winning broadcaster and co-anchor of Global News Morning. Please welcome Jason Perez.
Thank you so much, Kier. All right, how's everyone doing tonight? All right. My boss just arrived. Late. It is an honor, ladies and gentlemen, to be here. This is my second time, and I was just blown away last year. For those of you who are here, it was just a night filled with inspiration and overwhelming generosity, and we're going to match that, exceed that tonight. It's just great to be back here for the Courage to Come Back Awards. The sense of community in this room is truly inspiring as we recognize this year's recipients and raise both funds and awareness for Coast mental health. If you don't know, Coast provides housing for more than 1,000 people across the Lower Mainland. Coast has over 50 buildings in the Lower Mainland providing services, programming, and employment opportunities, which in turn creates community and hope for so many. Throughout our evening, we'll dig deeper into the impact Coast has on so many individuals, and you'll have an opportunity to show your support tonight. We'll also meet our incredibly deserving recipients, each on their own journey, each facing roadblocks and challenges many of us can only imagine. As you meet the recipients and learn more about Coast mental health, I hope we can come together as a community and ensure Coast can continue supporting even more individuals on their path to recovery. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined here tonight by corporate leaders, community champions, past award winners, elected officials, and of course, friends and neighbors. We'd like to thank all the board directors for being here tonight, and a big thank you to every one of you for being here this evening. We also like to acknowledge 2 very special people with us tonight. The co-chairs of the Courage to Come Back Awards at table 45. Let's get the spotlight on table 45. Please join me in recognizing Mr. Eric Carlson, CEO, co-founder of Anthem Properties. And at the center table, table 63, the president of Kingswood Properties and the event's legacy chair for this 21 years straight, Mr. Lawrence Siegel. Great to see you both. We'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge our sponsors, whose generous support helps make this evening possible. First and foremost, heartfelt thank you to our presenting sponsor in their 10th year of support, Wheaton Precious Metals. A big thank you as well to our platinum sponsor, RBC Royal Bank. Where's RBC? Is Martin Thibault here? Where's Martin? Oh, he's right here in the front. From Montreal. I'm sorry, but what's going on with your Canadians? They're going to get a win. They're going to get a win in Game 5. Also, we'd like to recognize 2 new partners joining us as bronze sponsors, Diamond Schmidt Architects and Midland Appliance. Thank you so much. And tonight's media sponsors, 11:30 News Radio Vancouver, John Ackerman and friends. Where's News 11:30? Thank you, News 11:30. And, of course, Global BC. So let's give a big round of applause to all our sponsors for their outstanding support. Now, courage can feel scary, courage can feel hard, but courage is also what opens the door to growth. Coast Mental Health helps people reclaim their courage, transform their lives, and create a path to the future. And tonight, in our recipients, you will witness courage in its most powerful forms. The courage to overcome, the courage to stand up in the community, and the courage to make a difference. There are 4 categories for this year's awards: mental health, addiction, medical, and young adult. We're also going to hear the powerful stories about the programs and services Coast Mental Health provides. These stories will no doubt prompt reflection on what each of you and each of us can do to help and how we can support those facing significant challenges in our community. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight there will be 2 opportunities to support Coast Mental Health and ensure even more people receive the help they deserve. Later tonight, you could fill out the forms at your table, or if you prefer to give publicly, we'll invite you after dinner to stand up, demonstrate your leadership and generosity. Every person deserves a welcoming and safe place to call home with staff that truly care and are committed to support recovery. And that's why Coast Mental Health's newly opened supportive housing site in Maple Ridge is vital to the health and well-being for so many. Right now, let's learn more about what that means. And this is from our presenting sponsor, Wheaton Precious Metals. Have a look in the monitors.
1 year ago, Coast Mental Health opened the doors to Rivers Reach, a 52-room supportive housing community beside the Fraser River in Maple Ridge. And in just a short time, thanks to the dedication and compassion of the Rivers Reach team, it has grown into a place residents are proud to call their home.
I really enjoy helping them, making them feel happy, making this place feel like home.
We do not give up on people at Rivers Reach. The people we serve here are people. They deserve to be treated with respect. They deserve to have their own home. They deserve to be able to develop their skills and get to be better people.
Rivers Reach provides 24-hour person-centered care, along with nutritious daily meals, life skills training, on-site clinical support, and referrals to community services. Coast's on-site community health workers work closely with tenants and healthcare teams to develop personalized recovery plans, recognizing that no 2 journeys are the same. A beautiful mural created by Catsy artist Rain Pierre welcomes visitors on arrival. Inside, the walls are filled with colorful, inspiring artwork, much of it created by residents. For many who live here, Rivers Reach is the first time they've been given a second chance.
For us, the ultimate goal is someone's quality of life, their identity, their sense of purpose and meaning has all been elevated because of their access to housing, such as Rivers Reach.
Like the team at Coast, we believe that everyone deserves a safe and welcoming place to call home. That's why, for 10 years, Wheaton Precious Metals has been proud to support initiatives like Rivers Reach. We hope you will join us in supporting Coast Mental Health today.
Here to present the award for mental health, representing our presenting sponsor, please welcome Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer of Wheaton Precious Metals, Vincent Lau.
Good evening. Wheaton Precious Metals is honored to mark our 10th year as the presenting sponsor of the Courage to Comeback Awards, supporting the important work of Coast Mental Health. Mental illness touches all of us in some way, whether personally or through someone we care about. While progress is being made to raise awareness, the journey toward healing and recovery continues. This evening, I'm honored to present the Award for Mental Health, which recognizes an individual who embodies the strength, resilience, and courage it takes to overcome the challenges of living with a mental illness. Let's take a look.
Hi. The classic Lori look.
My name is Lori Edmondson, and I have borderline personality disorder and a whole host of other mental health issues. I definitely had a childhood that was rocked by a lot of trauma for everyone around me. I was at the center of a lot of that trauma as a perpetrator of domestic violence. My anger was uncontrolled. We didn't know why I was so angry. We didn't know why I was so anxious. And I took it out on the people around me, and it was horrible for lots of people.
The early signs of struggle was basically big reactions to, like, no, you can't have a peanut butter sandwich, and she would go off the deep end.
The chief complaint on this document from when I was 13 is, I do stuff I don't want to do. It's getting worse. I cannot control my anger. The provocations to her anger are very minor. She'll scream, shout, hit, kick people, kicked somebody in the face, pulled a knife out, threatened to jump out of a moving car. The thing about this that really makes me sad is that it took 6 more years for me to get the help that I needed to be able to actually figure out what was going wrong for me. I had been kicked out of my house. I was sitting on a floor in a room with no door on a moldy futon, and I was simultaneously Googling what are the best ways to kill yourself without harming other people. And I was Googling treatment centers that I could potentially get help. And I had basically like 2 different tabs open on my laptop at the time, trying to figure out which of those 2 options I was gonna take. I basically went to bed that night going, I have these 2 options. I'm either going to do everything I can to get treatment, or I am going to die by suicide. I woke up the next morning and I got a phone call from the local health authority saying that somebody had last minute backed out of treatment and I had a free spot in a dialectic behavior therapy group. Okay, I guess the options presented themselves. And I went to group and I put all of my energy into learning new skills, learning how to better interact with others around me, and trying to really understand how I could function in a world that didn't necessarily appreciate the strong emotions that I have. When I was first diagnosed, one of the first things I did, obviously, is Google the disorder. I was desperate to find somebody that was a story of hope. And at the time, there was none. Okay, well then I'm gonna be that story. I wanted to be that role model that I needed when I was a kid. I did my master's in health administration at the end of the day because I actually realized that you needed to see things from this high leadership level of like how systems really work. I ended up with a job with BC Mental Health and Substance Use Services where not only does it ask for lived experience, it also values my lived experience in everything that I do. I'm fully comfortable, despite being at a leadership level, to be able to talk about my lived experience and know that it is of value and I can bring other people's voices into the work. Hi everyone, welcome to the Super Feeler podcast. I started podcasting in December of 2020. I figured nobody would listen to it, right? And was I wrong? The podcast is called the Super Feeler Podcast. The strong emotions that we experience are a superpower. It's not a bad thing. We don't have to think about these as like, we should dampen our emotions to fit into the mold. This is the strongest thing about us, and it's the most beautiful thing, and so we should celebrate this as a superpower. Within, I don't know, months, there was people from literally every corner of the earth listening to this podcast and reaching out to us about their experiences. People were reaching out saying, I'm a clinician and I've shared this with my clients, I've shared this with my staff members because it's really helping us with understanding. The Super Feeler community is something that makes my world go around. And it is the most beautiful space of beautiful human beings. I want the narrative to change to show that there is a beauty to this intensity of emotion. This is not easy. I lose thousands of dollars a year doing podcasting and peer support. This is not a lucrative model.
She's learned how to use the system to help her and learn how to use the system to help others, and then others come to her for help. I can't be a prouder father than that.
So I'm not a very spiritual person, I'm not a religious person, but everything I find just works out in some way or another, and I just feel like I'm living my dream.
Please welcome the 2026 Courage to Come Back Award recipient for mental health, Lori Edmondson.
Thank you so much to Coast Mental Health for this incredible honor and for all the amazing work you do every day supporting people going through some of their hardest moments. Thank you as well to everyone who supports organizations like Coast, Superfeeler, or others like them in your communities. These kinds of programs change lives. What's missing from my video, both for the sake of time and poor story arc material, is that less than 2 years ago, I experienced the worst suicide crisis of my life following a medication change. At the time, I recorded a 12-minute suicide note, believing it would be my final chance to speak to the world. And yet, here I am today, standing in front of all of you, sharing more of my story with the world in ways I never imagined possible. Thank you. It's hard to fit all of the gratitude I have in just a few minutes, but a few key people I don't want to miss in my thank yous are my employer, BC Mental Health and Substance Use Services, who allows me to lead with my lived experience to create meaningful change in systems that people like me rely on, and do so without the fear of stigma. To my friends and my stepmom who are here today, normally I'm too medicated for that. You are some of the people who have carried me through some of the hardest moments of my life. You keep me going. Your love, good humor, and support are a huge part of why I'm standing here today. I love you all very much. To my dad, despite our mutual stubbornness and a life that has not always been easy, you are still my #1 fan. Watching you grow in your own understanding of mental health has been amazing, and I can't wait to keep watching you grow. To my husband, Aaron, To my husband, Aaron, you are the best human I know. Despite being an incredibly private person, you somehow manage to stay married to someone who has almost no filter and shares wildly personal details of her life with the world. You support every passion project and dream that I have, keep our life running while I chase them, and are one of the biggest reasons I'm able to be here today. I love you and our boys more than anything. And lastly, to all the super feelers out there, without you, my work means nothing. What many call our illness is actually our superpower. Our ability to feel deeply, love fiercely, empathize easily, advocate passionately, and survive is nothing to be ashamed of. And now that we've built this beautiful community together and have learned how to harness those superpowers to create change, we are unstoppable. Hear me when I say that your story is just as valid as mine, and your life is just as worth living. Recovery is not only possible, but probable. You too can be the story of hope we all needed and a leader for change. So go out there, be loud, be proud. I promise it's worth it. Thank you.
Please welcome from 1130 News Radio Vancouver, John Ackerman.
Hello and good evening. Lori, thank you so much for sharing your story with us and giving hope to so many others. Coast Mental Health has so many programs and services, and one we're going to learn about tonight started as a pilot program at one location, and 8 years later has expanded across to 25 Coast locations, cognitive remediation or brain training. This program is 100% funded by philanthropy and would not exist if it were not for events like this one and the wonderful supporters here in this room tonight. You all might have wondered what that little bag is on your table settings tonight with a note from Wheaton Precious Metals. Let's watch this video and learn more.
Cognitive remediation, or brain training as we like to call it at Coast, is a type of psychotherapy that focuses on skills and strategies that help individuals improve their attention, memory, concentration, problem solving, and decision-making abilities. We focus on teaching skills around mindfulness, emotion regulation, distress tolerance, and interpersonal effectiveness skills. And while doing that, also help individuals connect with those around you. The incredible thing about brain training at Coast is it started as a pilot project in 2017, and it was through the generosity of an incredible donor that we were able to offer it as a pilot project. It's grown from 2017 to where we are now because of the continued support from donors and from funders that really believe in the program. Every group that we start, we do warm-up exercises. The New York Times app is a really popular component of brain training. So we play Wordle. People learn how to work as a team with connections. There's so many different words on the screen. Trial and error. You have to start somewhere. So if you have to do that in this game, how could you do that in different aspects of your life? Rush Hour is a fantastic logic and spatial processing game that we love, where you have to get the red car out. The wonderful thing about Rush Hour, and it is the very first game that we teach people to play, is that you are naturally challenged to shift your perspective. Sometimes you have to actually turn the board to get the car out. So how could you take turning the board and having that different perspective bridge into real life with different situations where you might have to take a step back and look at something from a different perspective? One of the very unexpected techniques that we use in brain training is the use of warhead sour candies. The idea behind a warhead candy is your brain can only handle one crisis at once. So if you're in a situation where you're experiencing a really intense emotion, if you take a warhead candy and you put it in your mouth, the intensity of that candy, the sourness of it, shifts your brain from the emotion you're experiencing to the intensity of the taste. It's not going to take the crisis away. It's not going to take away what might be bringing up the big emotion, but it just allows you a little space from your response to think about what you want to do. Because as the candy turns into a sweet candy, you can almost visualize your emotion getting lighter as well. If there is somebody that's on the bus that experiences really intense anxiety, they can have a warhead in their pocket, they can use it on the bus when they're getting anxious, and nobody even knows that they're using a brain training strategy in that moment. We see people's confidence boost. You see somebody answer Wordle for the first time and the smile that comes across their face, the encouragement that they get from their peers. You have somebody who remembered to set their alarm and didn't sleep through an important appointment, and they come to group and they share that experience. They know when to take their medications now on time because they wrote down a reminder. Those things that people might look at as very small, we see them as completely significant moments in people's lives because they've started a new pathway to change and they need the support to continue it going, and that's what brain training does for them.
I've dealt with illness in my life a lot, and I lost a lot of friends, and I lost a lot of opportunities. Just trying to turn that into something else now. What I've found beneficial for me out of brain training, I get to spend the hour distracted from my issues, and then I get to incorporate what I've learned into my life. You learn about yourself within the group, and you learn that you do have more to offer than you might think.
Every day I get to come into a space and share the room with incredible individuals who had no choice but to be resilient in life, whether they wanted to or not, and take what they have learned in life and share it in a brain training group so that others learn. To me, courage means showing up. day after day, showing up for yourself and showing up for the people around you and for your community. And just always knowing that how you are in any given moment is okay and it's enough. So when you make a donation to Coast Mental Health, you might not realize it, but you are giving people opportunities that they never would have had before. You are providing them with connection. You are providing them a lifeline. I often find it hard to express in words what the donors have done for the lives of so many people in this program and the impact that they have. We see it every single day. And it literally just took one person saying that they believed in what this program could do to now have reached countless individuals every day at Coast.
Now, please welcome to stage longtime supporter of Coast Mental Health, Howard Blank.
Wow, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 28th Annual Courage to Come Back Awards, and it's wonderful to be back. I think this is year 21 for me, so it's truly an honor and a privilege to be with you. Now, who knew that a little warhead candy could help so much? I've got mine. I know a few of you out there have been already pulling them back, but it's amazing how simple science of a candy can do so much. Now, as you all know, the need for funding and support for mental health has never been greater. Shh. 1 in 5 British Columbians will be affected by mental health or a substance use or abuse problem this year. Now, if you think about that, folks, that's 2 out of every person at your table. Now, you can help support programs like peer support, music and art therapy, brain training, as you saw in the video, programs for youth who have aged out of care, key employment opportunities, adventure therapy, meals, and so much more. Now, the funds raised for Coast support critical programs that are innovative and community-based, essential for recovery and to everyone's path to health is so different. And that is what makes Coast special, meeting everyone where they're at. There are many ways to give tonight, and you can access your donation pamphlets in front of you or use the QR code on the back of your tent cards of the program. So, how many of you folks, is this your first time coming to Courage? Wow. How many of you are seasoned vets? For those of you of your first time, this is a very special and unique dinner. We are honoring 4 incredible individuals who share their very personal stories, and not only that, make a wonderful difference in the world that we know here in this province. We do 2 asks tonight. Our first is personal. You'll see on your table, if you can please grab your either the QR code or the donation forms in front of you. You'll see each plate has one of those donation forms. Please fill out whatever you're comfortable with right now. Our volunteers will be coming by shortly to pick it up. This is your chance to say, I want to give, I want to make a difference for Coast. Now, there will be a second opportunity to give, and that's why for those of you that have never been here before, you're in for a real treat. This is where we all step up and make a very public pledge on how we can make a difference. All donations tonight will receive a full tax receipt, whether it's personal or corporately. And Kieran and the team are here tonight if you'd like to talk to them even more about other ways you can give during the year. But this is your important opportunity right now. So folks, please take out your forms. You'll see the pens on every place setting. And fill out your form now. And then when you're ready, our volunteers will come by. Give you a few seconds here. And as I said, folks, there are so many amazing programs that Coast does annually. And you will hear from our wonderful guests tonight on how it's made a difference in their lives and how you are directly impacting those who we may not have met yet, who will be coming in through our doors. At Coast, we never want to say no to anyone. Now, I'd like to give a special opportunity to introduce our wonderful guest stars who will be helping us later on this evening. We have some amazing individuals and community leaders that are with us tonight, and they will be at your table sections later on tonight. And that will give you the opportunity to publicly stand up and declare your pledge to Coast. All right. Let's start with our guest stars who are over to my stage left and give them a big, warm BC welcome. Our first guest star needs very little introduction. He's an Olympian, a club ambassador for Whitecaps FC, an amazing community leader, a big supporter of this event, and he just received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Jewish Community Center's annual sports dinner. Please welcome my friend, Carl Valentine. Our next guest, you've seen her on television, on stage singing, and in many theater productions. She is an accomplished stage and TV actress and singer. She will take center stage this summer, starring in Disney's The Little Mermaid at Theater Under the Stars in Malcolm Bowl. Please give a warm welcome to Cecily Day. Our next guest is a proud member of the Squamish Nation, respected leader, speaker, and advocate, and many of you all know him as the host of the Tawani Joseph podcast, where he shares powerful conversations with leaders and storytellers from across Canada. Please welcome Tawani Joseph. Our next guest is a true Vancouver favorite, an acclaimed singer, actress, and voice actor who has been heard at major events across North America, including performances for Vancouver Whitecaps FC, Seattle Seahawks, WWE, and most recently the HSBC Vancouver Sevens. And of course, you know her best as the beloved anthem singer for your Vancouver Canucks. Be sure to check out her newly released debut single, The Goal. Please welcome Elizabeth Irving. Our next guest is one of the true icons of Vancouver's arts and theater community. As the founding artistic director of Bard on the Beach, an actor, a director, an educator, and champion for the arts, I'm proud to announce his upcoming memoir, The Road to Bard, Stories from an Extraordinary Life in Theater and the Arts. Please welcome the legendary Christopher Gaze. And finally, he is one of the most recognizable voices in British Columbia sports and live events. You know him as the longtime voice of the Vancouver Whitecaps FC and the BC Lions, and soon, fans from around the world will hear him as the official voice of the FIFA Vancouver matches. Please welcome a true Vancouver original, Don Andrews. Now let's give all our special All-Stars a big round of applause, and thank you for donating of your time and your talents tonight for our second fundraising. Give it up for them. Ladies and gentlemen, our volunteers are going to come by and pick up your forms now, and thank you for your wonderful support during our first ask. Everyone, for your wonderful support of Coast Mental Health. Please enjoy your meal. We will continue with our program about an hour, and our wonderful MC, Jason Perez, will be back up on stage. Enjoy. Have a great dinner.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Hope you enjoyed dinner. Thank you for settling into your seats. It's great to see the mingling, but we're going to keep things on schedule and get right back to the program. Each year, it is remarkable to witness the courage and determination of people who have overcome so much and have given back. And that's exactly what Coast Mental Health does for its clients, helping to build paths forward so they can continue their journey with support, guidance, and dignity. Thousands of people, ladies and gentlemen, are impacted every year by Coast's recovery, employment, and education programs, as well as through housing and psychosocial rehabilitation services. Without the support of the community gathered here tonight, many of these services simply would not be possible. And without them, so many individuals would be left trying to navigate the darkest periods of their lives alone. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most critical factors in the success of any mental health program is that support begins early. Coast offers a wide range of programs designed specifically for young adults, young people who are in the crucial stages of development, for whom timely guidance and support can truly be life-saving. And this is why Coast relies on generous donors like you. Your support tonight ensures these young adult programs can continue to operate and expand, helping even more youth find safe pathways toward brighter futures. Folks, please enjoy this video now with RBC Royal Bank, highlighting a new facility at Coast designed for young women and non-binary youth, which they would like to share with you now as you consider your own support tonight. Have a look at your screens.
Hello, my name is Lindsay Jones, Managing Director and Head of Real Estate for RBC in British Columbia. Healing is a journey, and the first step on that path is finding safety within yourself. That's the inspiration behind the groundbreaking new 17-bed facility, affectionately named Healing House. Located in a cosy neighbourhood setting in beautiful South Surrey, Healing House provides compassionate support to female and non-binary youth experiencing severe to high-risk substance use that has not been successfully addressed in their home communities. Through trauma-informed therapeutic programming, they build the stability and confidence they need to navigate their recovery journeys towards a hopeful future. Operated by Coast Mental Health in partnership with BC Children's Hospital, Healing House is a voluntary programme offering gender-responsive and culturally inclusive treatment, combining leading-edge clinical care together with traditional Indigenous teachings. Arts, recreation and nature-based therapy are some of the innovative ways that Healing House helps at-risk youth find their way back through connection to self and the world around them. As a long-term partner of Coast Mental Health, RBC is proud to support meaningful initiatives like Healing House. We invite you to walk with us and help create a pathway to healing for young people by supporting Coast Mental Health today.
And now, to present the Young Adult Award, please welcome the Regional President at RBC Royal Bank, Martin Thibodeau.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Martin Thibodeau, Regional President at RBC in British Columbia, and wow, it is truly an honor to be here tonight with all of you as we celebrate Coast Mental Health Foundation's 2026 Courage to Comeback Awards. It takes immense courage and character to share intimate stories and vulnerability in transformation, but a single person's story carries tremendous power. By speaking their truth, tonight's recipients create a ripple effect of hope for so many others. The Courage to Comeback Award for the youth category recognizes individuals aged 19 to 25 who have navigated profound illness or socioeconomic challenges. Tonight, we honor a remarkable young man. A young man's journey is a powerful testament to resilience, courage, and hope. Despite facing real pain and extraordinary challenges, our next recipient chooses not only to persevere, but to inspire others along the way.
My name is Jacob Bradenhoff. I live on a chicken farm on about 10 acres. My childhood was normal, I think. I grew up working on the farm a little bit, helping my dad where I could. I was fairly active, playing basketball a lot, soccer, all the sports in elementary school that you could think of. Before my diagnosis, I was having knee pain. Went to the doctor and originally got diagnosed with patellofemoral syndrome, which is just basically the grinding of your cartilage in your kneecap. I was told to do some physio for it, and then the pain just kept getting worse. We noticed that I also had some swelling in my left thigh. The doctor was fairly worried about this, so we went to the hospital to get some x-rays done. And later that evening, my mom got a call from the doctor's office.
We went to the doctor's office. They stayed open late for us. The secretary had tears in her eyes when we came in. We sat down with the doctor and he said Jacob had a tumor inside his femur. And I said, "Is that bad?" And he said, it is the worst of the worst.
An osteosarcoma cancer is a hard tissue cancer, and it's a very aggressive cancer. You cannot shrink it, which is why I needed a amputation surgery. I was in grade 7 at the time, so I went to my grade 7 graduation in a wheelchair, and the very next day I went into surgery for a chemo port. And the day after I got my chemo port put in, I started chemotherapy right away. I went through 10 rounds of chemotherapy before I had my amputation surgery to get rid of the cancer.
I had researched the rotation-plasty option. The surgeon did not tell him about it, but I was the one that brought it to him. It would give Jacob a better chance of having a more active life afterwards with less surgeries following.
Basically what a rotation-plasty is, they take your lower part of your leg and they move it to your upper part of your leg, rotate it 180 degrees so that your foot or your ankle acts as your knee. It's just not very common because of kind of the oddity of it, really. It's a lot to wrap your mind around. I think what got me through some of the hardest days, the darkest days, mostly was my family, my mom, who was by my side every step of the way.
Main thing that I noticed through the entire journey was that he never complained once. He didn't complain about missing school. He never complained about having to have his leg amputated.
It never really crossed my mind to ask why me. I was very much of the mindset that complaining or worrying about it doesn't do me any good. I also took comfort in knowing that God always has a plan for me, and I think that was most important to me also. I think it's important to give back to, those communities around you that are struggling a bit more. Because without support for those things, there wouldn't be the medicine that there is today. If no one ever raised money for osteosarcoma awareness or for Terry Fox or whatever, maybe I wouldn't be here. I was inspired by Terry Fox's story to raise money for cancer awareness, specifically osteosarcoma, and also inspired by Terry Fox's brother, Daryl Fox. I got to ride with him in the Pedal of Hope, but he was a big inspiration to me as well. I think I'm quite blessed in my life in that I'm given enough time and money and resources to live my life, but I have extra, and so why wouldn't you give back to those who need a little bit of extra help? I met my fiance, I guess 11 months ago now. We dated for 10 months and 7 days before I asked the big question.
The most important thing about Jacob is that his cancer is he does not make that the biggest part of his life. He cares about other people, and I think he makes him an understanding person in that since he went through so much himself, he's also understanding of other people and their situations as well.
Everyone faces struggles in their life, and I don't think that mine are any more or less important than anyone else's, and I think it's important to remember that you can get through your struggles, and it's important to accept what you're going through, and often you can learn from and grow from the struggles in your life, and you can become a stronger and better person because of it.
The 2026 Courage to Come Back Award for the Youth Adult category recipient is Jacob Brenderhoff. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank you all for being here tonight in support of both the recipients of this award and the Coast Mental Health Foundation. I am honored to be here and receive this award, but I must admit that winning this award is not what is most important to me tonight. To me, this award is about the people who are going through struggles and need our help. I do not feel the need to be recognized for who I am or what I went through, but I do feel the need to help others. I hope that by receiving this award and sharing my story, others can find hope through their own struggles. I also hope my story helps bring awareness for organizations that need support to continue their important missions, whether that be the Coast Mental Health Foundation or ones that are more close to my heart, like the Terry Fox Foundation, BC Children's Hospital, and Ronald McDonald House. Tonight, I want to thank my family for being with me for supporting me. Thank you to my mom for being with me every step of the way. Thank you to my dad for being there for me, but more importantly for my brothers and continuing to provide. Thank you to my fiance, Anna, for being by my side and motivating me as we build a new life together. Thank you to my in-laws for being here as well and supporting me. Thank you to my extended family and church family for visiting my mom and me in the hospital and for supporting us at home through meal trains, prayers, and acts of kindness. Thank you as well to BC Children's Hospital and all the nurses and doctors who make it an exceptional facility. Most importantly, I want to thank God. He is truly what carried me through my journey with cancer, and He continues to be with me each and every day. All my hope and courage come from Him alone. Nothing I could have done on my own would have been enough to get me through it. I want to end with a Bible verse that reflects this perfectly. Joshua 1 verse 9 says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jacob. So inspiring. You've been through so much in your young life, and it's truly inspiring to see how you found the path and to see some tremendous support from your family and friends, and now that you're giving back to the community. And now to present this year's Courage to Come Back Award in the category of addiction. Please welcome a community leader known for her work with the Javad Moafagian Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, Arya Eshki.
Good evening. Tonight, we recognize an individual whose journey reminds us that recovery is possible and that hope can emerge even from life's darkest moments. Addiction continues to impact families and communities across British Columbia. Behind every statistic is a human story, stories of loss, struggle, isolation, and survival. Our recipient tonight knows that reality firsthand. His story is a powerful reminder that coming back is possible and that giving back can change lives. Please turn your attention to the screen as we celebrate this year's Courage to Come Back Award recipient in the addiction category.
My name's Cole Isaac, and I'm a person in long-term recovery. I'm the founder and executive director of Back on Track Recovery. I was raised in the States. Unfortunately, fell into addiction after college. Addiction grabbed a hold of my soul and brought me to my knees. I served a 10-month term for possession and resulted in me being deported to Canada when I was 41 years old. I arrived here with $23 in my pocket. I had no shoelaces or no socks. I had nothing from the first 41 years of my life. I really arrived in Vancouver with the intention of not falling back into my addiction. Vancouver is ground zero in terms of addiction and homelessness. I was triggered and fell back into my addiction. I smoked crystal meth every 10 minutes for a very long time. And I stayed in that addiction for another 7 years before I finally surrendered. Homelessness was my rock bottom. I just couldn't do it. I didn't think about how I would end my life, but I didn't really want to go on. I would have been okay if I didn't wake up the next day. Those 7 years were really dark, sad years for me. The deal I made was, I'm going to give this recovery thing 24 months and see where I'm at. If I am in a better place at 24 months, then I'm going to continue on that recovery journey. So I looked for everything that I could do to keep me busy, to keep boredom away. I thought maybe I could do this better. I met a lady named Robin. She told me that she had a recovery house for which she needed a manager. I took her up on her offer and she hired me to be her manager. And I remember saying to Robin, I think I found my calling and I think I'm going to be good at this and I think we could be good at this together. And in 5 years, we're going to have 5 houses, Robin. That's where Back on Track started.
I remember getting the second house and it was like, oh, here we go, a second house. And all of a sudden it's a third house and then a fourth house. We just kept going forward. You ask him for help, he's going to help you.
We make a deal with our clients. If you want to stay with us at Back on Track, I'm going to feed you well. I'm going to give you a nice clean bed to sleep in. I'm going to love you and make you laugh. And all you have to do is abstain from the use of all mind-altering substances and also abstain from doing any criminal activity. Most of our clients accept that deal. Cynthia and I were in our addiction together. She was my best friend. She was an addictions counselor. She worked for me. I approached her about the possibility that she might be a surrogate for me, and we made it happen. For 10 years, Cynthia and I raised our son. Then on December 19th, 2023, which was Cynthia's birthday, she died of a heart attack. We've been healing every day since. She fulfilled a dream for me that I never thought was possible, because I always wanted to be a dad, and now I'm a dad.
Dad interview number 1. I'm proud of my dad because he helps people that nobody else would do in the way that he does. He's a very good guy.
We're never supposed to say that we are recovered. I am recovered. I will never rob my son of a day of my being present in his life. It's been proven over and over to me that if you do the right thing will happen as it should. Every terrible thing in my life has turned out to be a blessing in disguise. I lived in the proverbial gutter for a very long time, and I pulled myself from there. And I hope to reach my hand back to those that are still there and pull them towards a better life. I want to inspire others to follow me. And as many people as I can do that with or for, the more content I will be when I take my last breath.
Please welcome 2026 Courage to Come Back Award recipient for addiction, Cole Isaac.
Oh my goodness. I should be receiving the Courage to Come Up Here award. Jacob, that was a hard act to follow. Here goes. Receiving this honor is a special kind of surreal. I'm deeply grateful, genuinely humbled, and more than a little shocked that nobody reconsidered this decision after Googling my name. I see some of you grabbing your phones. There are many people in my blessed life who deserve acknowledgement tonight, including my dedicated staff and all of those still struggling but haven't given up. Out of concern that the music might start playing me off stage, I'm going to stick to the three people who are here tonight. First, Lori, over there sitting with me. 22 years ago, on what was unquestionably, one of the darkest days of my life, you extended a hand of kindness and gave me a place to land when I had no one, nothing, and nowhere to go. You took a chance on someone most people probably would have walked right past. And now, ironically, 2 decades later, it may appear as though I'm returning that kindness. But the truth is, Lori, you are still giving my son and me a level of unconditional love that has been unmatched in my life. Thank you, Bella. Thank you. And my second Shiro tonight is also here with us, Her Worship Mayor Brenda Locke. Once upon a time, you were just another politician I would either support quietly from a distance or bash on social media. I've watched you closely for the better part of 8 years now, and I deeply, very deeply admire your endless energy, your unwavering dedication to our city, and the fact that you took notice of the work we do at Back on Track and supported us as we tried to do more. Your support made a difference to literally thousands of people who felt no one cared. Thank you, Mayor Locke, thank you. And finally, last but not least, to my favorite person on the planet, my son, Josiah. How can such a little guy make such an enormous impact on a man's life? You make sacrifices quietly, son. You do. Well, maybe not so quietly sometimes. Without complaint, he competes for my attention with my phone constantly. And what I want you to know, son, is that I see that. You brought color into what was otherwise a very black and white life. And both me and your mommy wherever she may be, are damn proud of you. I know, kid, $5 more for the swear jar. I'm good with that. Every single day, I am privileged to witness human beings fight their way back to life and discover dignity, reconnect with family, and find purpose where they start to believe in themselves again. These moments never stop being extraordinary. Because coming back is not always one grand heroic moment. Sometimes it's just surviving one more night. Sometimes it's asking for help. Sometimes it's believing that your life still matters. So again, thank you for seeing value in my story and my work. But more importantly, thank you for reminding people that recovery is possible, redemption is real, and human beings can come back from places that once seemed insurmountable. Thank you very much.
And now to present our final award of the evening in the medical category. Welcome celebrated creative artist, photographer, storyteller, and community leader whose family has been instrumental in supporting arts, culture, and community wellness from the Chan Family Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, Erica Chan.
Hello and good evening. This final award celebrates an individual whose resilience, determination, and spirit continue to inspire everyone around him. Our next recipient reminds us that courage is not simply surviving hardship, it's choosing every day to move forward with purpose, optimism, and a commitment to making life better for others. Let's take a look as we celebrate this year's Courage to Come Back Award recipient in the medical category.
My name is Mark Stockbrooks. Born in Winnipeg, grew up in Vancouver, grew up in the valley, outdoors, nature, all that good stuff, active.
He was always trying to keep up with the older kids, always energetic, loved sports, loved to climb the tree in the front yard.
Travel was a huge thrust for me from early on. It's been my best teacher, learning languages, interacting with other cultures. Made it to a lot of countries, so blessed to have done that. That includes living in Japan for 6 years. I am Métis. My grandmother was raised in St. Boniface. I do have that blood in me, and I think that does propel me, inspire me. My uncle, Teddy, is a fire chief in Winnipeg, so that was also something to emulate. Community service, strength, helping people, building community, things like that. So that was a good aspiration for me. It's an exciting career, and you're doing good things. Found this opportunity with Métis Nation BC. They gave me a chance, and I finished it. Chief training officer loved me, offered me a job, and I had one. And then, unfortunately, 2 weeks later, Grey Cup 2011. It was actually Winnipeg, my birthplace, versus BC. Hours later, for some reason, well, unbeknownst to me at the time, timber just started falling down. Had no idea what was going on. Woke up, I guess, a couple weeks later and asked my brother, like, what happened? He's like, Mark, you had a stroke.
We slowly went through medical, like the hospitals, to GF Strong, and that was where they just said to me, you can stay home today, sleep in. And they talked to him, and he was so angry, and they said, you know, you're never gonna walk again. That was how they told him.
My stroke was fairly severe and lengthy. I bled for like 15 hours. I'm lucky to be here. Left me triplegic, both legs, one arm. I also left me with epilepsy, which is under control with medication. Ongoing surgeries, I have a spinal cord implant. I've had 3 surgeries in the last 2 months, that's ongoing. Immediately you're so limited compared to being ambulatory and walking. And just a little curb like that denies you entry, and then doors are hard. That's the hardest part, is the doors. That's just not good enough. So we're gonna give them the does not work sticker. For me, like being active, super active, and then being stationary essentially in a chair, the transition is fully mental. This chair I'm sitting in, it's my best friend. It's an extremely sophisticated and expensive piece of equipment. And I'm 6'4", 230. In the last 3 years, actually, I've put on 9,400 kilometers. That's a heavy user. Constantly moving. I'm in it up to 18 hours a day. Obviously, I know my situation. I can't change that, but I can change how I react. One choice to make, I gotta walk right straight through this and do the best I can. Access Heroes project started back in 2011, not too long after I started to recover from stroke. I did spend years in hospitals, but I knew right away, like, this is something that I need to work on because it's not gonna fix itself. So I did start with a simple sticker program and outreach and conversations. Access Heroes goes for the good guys, because there are a lot of good people out there trying their best to help out. And there are those that just don't know. They're not aware, right? So it's like educational outreach and just informing the public. We want barrier-free access for all at all times. In many places we can convince it's possible. It's not always easy. It's tiresome and it's repetitive effort, but it's worth it. You have to really grind. We can all influence people. Word of mouth, the court of public opinion, we could do this as a coalition. Everybody should be involved. Support wheelchair access in your local communities. I did sit on the Persons with Disabilities Advisory Committee with City of Vancouver. I've also done a lot of work with the other nonprofits in the province, service groups like Tetra, Disability Foundation, Disabled Sailing, VAMS, Vancouver Adaptive Music. There's a lot of great work out there people are doing, and I try to contribute if I can. I haven't changed. I'm the same guy, I just can't walk. That's it.
3, 2, 1.
When I look at Mark, I see such strength. And I see someone who's powered through a lot of challenges in life, sorrows, disappointments. He hung in there. He kept trying. He kept continuing on. He could have just given up. I'm so proud of him for that.
Courage is showing up every day and trying your best. Courage is not backing down, it's moving forward.
Allons-y, ikimasho, let's go, vamos.
Don't think about what you can't do, think about the possibilities in life and what you can achieve. Have vision, have goals. You can do it. If you think it, you can do it.
Please welcome the 2026 Courage to Come Back Award recipient for the medical category, Mark Stockbrox.
I've arrived.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thank you all who made this a reality. This is a wonderful night. I praise and salute all of you for your contributions, for our fellow award winners, for their powerful stories. I'm moved. I had no idea this award was going to happen to me in my life. We don't know what's ahead. And I'm so glad I've survived it to be here with all of you. Not everyone has the privilege to be alive after a stroke and be able to speak. Those are gifts that I recognize every day that I can do that. Privilege, so I use my voice for the best as I can. Supporting me every step of the way has been my family, just rock steady, loving and unwavering when things got rough. And boy, they get rough sometimes. Total champs, I love you guys to pieces. Thank you very much for helping me all through the years. Definitely. Thanks especially to my mother and father for opening the door to the world. You two are the original Access heroes for opening the door to life. Dad, I really hope you're watching this from somewhere up there, over there, maybe over there, but I think you're everywhere and you're definitely in here. And you'll always be in my heart and my mind. Mom, you're the greatest of all time. You're the GOAT. I love you to bits, Momsy, the GOAT. Give it up for my mom. She's a tough, strong woman. Strong lady. Parents that support their kids. Give it up for Patricia. Thanks to all of my family, my brothers, Matthew and Ken, for being the total rock stars that you are. Never change, gentlemen. I'll be with you forever. And of course, my sister Allison. She's an RN in neurology. Thanks to all our healthcare workers all around the world. They're saving lives behind the scenes without fanfare, without the applause and the celebration that they deserve. Not all heroes wear capes, but a lot of them do wear scrubs and Crocs and clogs. Give it up. Give it up for our healthcare workers in the house and worldwide, working behind the scenes, constantly, day in, day out, saving lives, literally. Thank you to all the healthcare workers. So I have the world is totally different in a wheelchair. We're far behind where we should be at this point. And we can do a lot better, and we must, because the technology is here, and it needs to be adopted. The issue is awareness. That's where it all starts. Awareness and education, that's the through line for a lot of our stories tonight. People just don't know
that it's an issue unless you know somebody that's in a wheelchair or a mobility situation. It's awareness. People want to do the right thing, but don't even know where to start. It is a tough nut to crack. It's a big problem, and it's only going to exacerbate as the demographic shift speeds up. Unfortunately, I got to break you the news that someday we're all going to be kind of limping around, and why don't we get ahead of the curve and start now? Get ahead of this. It's solvable. We have the technology. We need to implement it, and it's possible, but it will not fix itself. It takes every single one of us to speak up, start the conversation, and raise that awareness. It's completely doable. I've seen it happen. A matter of education, a simple mention, a Yelp review, discussing with your friends and families, talk to your kids. I think every kid in elementary school should do a day in a wheelchair. That would change the culture in one generation. I would promote that. So yeah, Access Heroes is an initiative that I started using stickers. Access Heroes go to the people who do care, who make an effort to install things like heat censored and wave to open, push buttons, and accessible washrooms, ramps, good signage, because signage in a wheelchair, you wouldn't think of it, but it needs to be up high, because if in a room full of people, you just can't see a thing. Yeah, so I mean, like, I'm just a guy working solo, self-funded, a guy with a stack of business cards and stickers and a ton of sweat equity. If I can create this amount of change, just could you imagine if we all join forces in this and solve this enduring problem, working together as a team, as like one coalition unit together, voices galvanized as one, things would change a lot faster. It's hard, one person doing this. So I encourage everybody to speak up in your local communities. That's the only way it will change, is if we talk about it and discuss this, raise its profile. It can happen. I've seen change happen, and we have a long way to go, but it's not going to fix itself until we start doing something about it, guys. So please, speak up in your local communities. If anyone's interested, I have plans for the future. I have a lot of ideas, big ideas. I want this to be a global movement, a new push for a new future for mobility. Everyone will be affected by this at some point in your life, so let's think about this now and be smart and start working. We can do this together. I have ideas. If you're interested, please come see me by that small screen over there, just in my front of my pictures there. I'm just over there. Can't miss me. I'm in the giant chair. Oh yeah, when people ask me, how do you carry on when you have, there's a lot going on. Continual health problems. Equipment is always an issue. I have fatigue from epilepsy. I have complex pain issues. List. But I don't know if you've heard this one. It's one of my favorite quotes from one of the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, no relation. He famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." And it's kind of more easily rephrased as the obstacle is the way. You have to go through that, and you can learn from that obstacle, find your way around it, navigate however you can. You are more powerful than you can imagine. When you're faced with issues, you must face them head on, and that's the only way to go. You will be very happy with the outcome if you give 1,000% every day. Don't take a day off. You can out-hustle your problems. Honestly, work rate is something that gets me by. I'm dealing with a lot of things, so I have to show up every day. Congrats to everyone up on this stage tonight. But our work just begins anew. Like, this is a new push we're doing. Congratulations to everyone. I hope everyone had a good time, thoroughly great time. And if you want, please come find me at my table. I have prepared an information package with some of the wins and some of my future goals and plans to bring Access Heroes worldwide, make it global. I want everybody in the world to become an Access Hero. Fighting for this cause, making change, we need it now because future is approaching quickly, and we don't know. This happened to me in one day. We don't know what's ahead, so let's work together for a brighter future. Thank you very much. Thank you to Coastal Mental Health, the Siegel Legacy. Please come say hello after. Thank you very much. Have a great night, everybody.
Now, please welcome to the stage the co-chairs of tonight's gala, Eric Carlson and Lauren Siegel.
Good evening again. First of all, thank you. I know it's been a difficult year for many people and many organizations, which makes the generosity in this room tonight feel even more extraordinary. And before anything else, I want to thank my good friend Howard Blank, who for so many years has helped lead our fundraising efforts with incredible passion and belief in these awards. I don't know where you are, Howard, but I also want to thank a few people whose care, leadership, and commitment make this evening possible. I want to begin with my good friend and co-chair, Eric Carlson, who has given so much of himself to these awards and helped us fill this room and expand awareness for this cause. And I know many of you are here tonight because of the respect and affection you have for him, which frankly has helped me sleep a little better at night. Eric, thank you. To Alyssa Goad and Richie O'Shaughnessy, if you're somewhere in the room and not solving 3 crises at once, your extraordinary care and commitment have become part of the heart of these awards. Keir MacDonald, whose leadership continues to guide Coast Mental Health with compassion and deep commitment to the people they serve. To David Martin and team at PRP Connect, the humanity and care that you bring to these stories is felt by everyone in this room. And to our MC this evening, Jason Perez, this is your second time with us, and you brought warmth and grace to the stage tonight again. To Kim Tran and Christy Bonman and Sylvia Kim, thank you for the extraordinary care, commitment, and heart you brought to this evening. It means more than you know. Gail Samota Klassen, Chair of the Foundation Board, Stephen Butts, Chair of the Society Board, and the members of both boards. Your leadership, support, and commitment make possible the mission behind everything we celebrate here tonight. And I also want to acknowledge Shirley Broadfoot, who believed deeply in the idea behind Courage to Come Back and helped guide these awards in their earlier years. I'm grateful for the foundation she helped create. Isabella Zabava has also been such an important part of these awards for so many years. Isabella is away this year. Many of you know her. And I have to say, the evening doesn't quite feel the same without her standing beside us on this stage. And to my wife, Melita, who every year during Courage is reminded why marriage should probably come with a renewal option. And finally, to everyone in this room, thank you for continuing to believe that stories like these matter. Now, every year I'm given a few minutes to try and put this evening into perspective. And every year I struggle with that. Before we leave tonight, I think it's important to pause for a moment and think about what really happened here this evening. Not what we watched, what we witnessed. Because these remarkable individuals did not come here tonight simply to be admired. They came here so the rest of us could learn. They did the heavy lifting. They walked through realities most of us spend our lives hoping to avoid. And then they stood before us all tonight and told the truth about those experiences. So that maybe someone might feel less alone. Life eventually tests all of us. Not equally, not fairly, but inevitably. And maybe that's why this evening matters. Because when life becomes difficult, what matters is who stays. And over the years, I've learned that courage rarely looks dramatic when you are living through it. Usually it looks much quieter than that. Sometimes it's simply getting out of bed in the morning. Sometimes it's just continuing when there's every reason not to. We all have problems. Every person in this room. Life sees to that. And maybe that is because problems have a way of shaping us, of sculpting our character and sculpting our souls. Our heroes here tonight showed us something extraordinary. Not with words, with their lives. That by witnessing the very best in others, we see what we ourselves can become. And all evening long, whether we realized it or not, I think many of us were quietly asking ourselves the same question. How? How did they do it? How did they keep going when life became this difficult? And maybe the deeper question is this. When life tests us, who will we become? Because suffering equalizes people. At some point, life strips away titles, status, the illusion of control. And what remains is the willingness to continue and the simple human need for someone not to give up on us. Maybe that's why this evening affects people so deeply. Because beneath all of our different lives, all of our successes, all of our roles, we recognize something familiar in these stories. So tonight, as we leave this room, the question is no longer simply what we witnessed here. The question is, what will we do with it? Will we leave here unchanged? Or will we listen more carefully, judge less quickly? Love people a little better? And will we stay a little closer to the people in our lives who may be struggling quietly? I hope so. I believe so. Because if we let it, this evening will change us. And perhaps that is the greatest gift our recipients gave us tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome back to the stage our 2026 Courage to Come Back Award recipients. Cole, Isaac,
and Lauren,
Mark.
As our recipients are coming up, Eric, please come up here. I have a wonderful announcement. First off, our good friend Jill Diamond, Diamond Foundation, couldn't be here tonight. Just phoned me and wanted to give $15,000 to add. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, as our wonderful recipients join us, thank you to your stories, your compassion, and your courage to come back. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we've raised $1.7 million.
Jacob Bredenoff. Okay. You want to introduce everyone? Oh, we have one more. Mark, come on stage. Okay, let's do that again. Our 2026 Courage to Come Back Award recipients, Cole Isaac, Mark Stockbrox, Jacob Bredenhoff, and Lori Edmondson.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Eric. And one big final round of applause for this year's award recipients. Congratulations. It's a fantastic evening of inspiration, an incredible evening. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight and your generosity. This is it. Have a wonderful night. We hope you come back next year. Big round of applause for this year's 2026 Courage to Come Back recipients. Thank you for coming. Get home safe. We'll see you next year.